Hello, today I have brought a table setting using my Taylor Smith Taylor China. Now the pattern I have, a lot of the research I did, well actually the book isn't here anymore, Anne has the book, but this pattern, in the book it was called, well actually there's several names, Debutante, Brown Seal, Victoria, or Lorraine. Otherwise known as Taylor Smith Taylor 1631. If you go on replacements, they just simply refer to it as brown scroll, and I've seen it called brown scroll on eBay also. Now what's interesting about Taylor Smith Taylor is that, if I can just set this down, on the back, they have a very characteristic wrong plate. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. On the back of Taylor Smith Taylor, you probably can't see this on camera, but the back of it is a very characteristic shield. It's like a laurel leaf, two laurel leaves, and it says Taylor Smith Taylor USA. Now, there are three numerals beneath that. The first numeral is usually the month. The second numeral is the year. Now this plate I'm holding has 49, so that'd be 1949. And then the last number is according to the book, the glaze dipper. So that must be the person who probably put the final glaze on the plate. Now interestingly, when I bought this set, it was very dirt cheap. I bought it a long time ago, and I don't even remember what thrift shop it came from. But interesting also is that I think the company is called Paden City. I used to say Podden City, but somebody corrected me. Paden City also must have used the same decals, because this plate here is marked Paden City Pottery. And I probably can't see that on camera, but again, it's the Paden City Pottery. It's a circular emblem with looks like a little chimney or furnace, and then there's like a little ribbon going through that. Now, my personal observation is that the Paden City China, so I have a few pieces of that too. It doesn't seem to be quite as good quality, but I don't want to cast any aspersions on that company, but my point would be that this was probably a very, very popular pattern, and so it dates to like late 30s and 40s, and if you look at the colors, they're pretty characteristic of that time frame, kind of very sweet and grandma-y and kind of pastel colors, but that was what was kind of in style at the time. Now, the glassware that I have included here is pink depression glass, and quite frankly, I don't know much about it. In fact, I'm hoping somebody can tell me about the pattern. So the glasses were an inheritance from my mother-in-law. The candlesticks, I don't know the pattern of those, but those were very recently acquired at a church rummage sale for $2. So I think one of my points would be, you don't have to spend a lot. You can, if you search and look around, you can find all kinds of pretty things and then put them together and mix and match and just add your own touches. And I would say that one of my messages too is that I have some vegetables here, so make sure you eat your vegetables. And once you do, then you can have the candy on the table. So that's about it. There's a little bit more information. I don't know that it's real relevant, but I'd like to invite Anne up here, and she can talk about her. What was it here? Okay.
Thank you, Holly. So yesterday on the bus, Holly and I got to talking about her presentation today. Holly mentioned yesterday about her presentation, and I said I happen to have my day dishes are Taylor Smith and Taylor. So what I've brought in is the pattern called boutonniere, which dates from the 1960s. And so last night I did a little research, and there's a very cool website called laurelhollowpark.net. And there's a gentleman who in 2009 started working on a website, and he has great information about the company and their origins in 1900. They actually lasted all the way till 1981, which for a lot of manufacturers, that was a long career. So one thing I wanted to share with you is that they did have 3 different designs, and on this printout, if you happen to like pastel colors, the company made a whole series called Blu-ray Pastels, very similar to the modern tone colors that a lot of people like. So there was that, and apparently they had 3 different shapes. The Empire shape, then they went to Conversation shape that brought them into the 1950s, and then one of their designers designed Versatile, another mid-century modern shape that became the workhorse of sorts for the pottery through the 1960s. And I believe that is what I have, is the Versatile. So it's very, I call it kind of go-go style. It's very 1960s. And the nice thing that happened as a result of her affording me the chance to share these with you is I just found out about some really wonderful pieces that I didn't know about. So there's some pictures up here of their different patterns, but I just fell in love with it because my kitchen, I bought a house that's all typical Milwaukee, lots of natural woodwork, right? So the house is basically brown and beige, the entire house. So brown, beige china made great sense, and I just fell in love with the teal colored teacups. So their different serving pieces all feature this teal blue, which I really love. And there is another company that has a decal that's similar, so if you happen to like this, you have to be careful almost to keep a picture of it on your phone, because there's something that looks more like a thistle, and you could accidentally mix the two different patterns. But one thing I also read about is that these are actually oven proof. There was a special glaze, and this is called semi-vitreous. So it's not as thick as a vitreous diner china, but it's semi-vitreous. So I have not put them in the oven, but they go through the dishwasher great. I use a china setting, and I've been washing these for the 7 years since I found them at Goodwill right after moving to Milwaukee. And most of them are not marked on the bottom, but the beauty of the older dishes is they're fully glazed and they will never scratch.
Or chip, yeah. Oh no, sometimes you can.
No, I did manage to chip one recently. I dropped it in the sink just the right way and broke it. But thank you, Holly, again for offering me a chance to do this.